Welcome into Seahawks Today. I'm your host, Will Ortner, and I don't mean to state the obvious. You have a really good defense in Seattle, and I thought that it was high time that I finally go in and I dive into the ins and outs of the Mike Macdonald defense here in Seattle and why they have become so dominant, so feared, so scared when it comes to one of the best defenses in the NFL. We're going to break all of that down in today's video. But before we do, you're going into the bye week. You're basically at the midway point of the season anyways. Let me know, who's been the MVP of the defense for you so far this year? Is it Ernest Jones? Is it Leonard Williams? Frankly, I think if I had to go in and vote, it's Byron Murphy II, man. That kid is absolutely exploding onto the scene. He's second on your team right now in sacks, and that's coming from a nose guard. A freaking nose guard. When's the last time a nose guard had that many sacks for a defense and you said, wow, that defense is really freaking good? 4.5 sacks so far. Byron Murphy, he'd be my MVP. Let me know who your MVP is down below in the comments. Welcome to the death zone, because apparently every single time you have a good defense, you need a funny nickname. The Steel Curtain, the 85 Bears, the Purple People Eaters. Insert other funny names here. Legion of Boom. And now in Seattle, you have the Death Zone. That, of course, is named after Everest, where once you get too high, you're running out of oxygen, you get into a scary spot, and you tend to see a lot of people break. That's what this defense under Mike Macdonald is trying to do. And frankly, I love it. I love the image that they've created, and I love the passion that Mike Macdonald clearly has instilled upon his players. I want to look at Byron Murphy right now talking about this defense, and I think he just sums up what a lot of people on that defense think, but also what a lot of outsiders feel like they get from this defense when they go out and play on Sundays. We've just got a different type of mindset, a kill mindset. It doesn't matter who we line up against. We're just trying to prove to the league that we're the best defense in the league. Everybody on the defense has that mindset. We've all got each other's backs. We believe in one another, and we play hard for one another. I feel like that's what it's all about. When you have a defense that is playing for each other, that has a kill mindset, and honestly, when Byron Murphy says he has a kill mindset, I don't think that's a joke. Now, obviously, it's a little bit hyperbolic. Is he really going out there trying to kill people on the football field? No. But you can tell that this defense, with the way they play, the way they're flying around, the way they hype each other up when there's a big play, when there's a big hit, they want each other to do well, and they want to celebrate the successes that they have. Do they want to kill? No, but they want to actually stop. Literally. They do not literally want to kill people. I love what this defense is doing. I love how high they keep coming in graded out. Again, PFF grades are not everything. But look at your PFF grade performances from your Seattle Seahawks after the Monday night game against the Houston Texans. Boye Mafe, he was high. Did he get a sack in that game? No. Was he flying around making big plays constantly on my TV screen? Yes. Brandon Pili, a guy who started the season on your practice squad, finding a way to shoot up there. Love it. Ty Okada, I know that he's not on that top 5. What is he, about 7 there in your PFF grades? That's a guy who was a backup, finding ways to make plays. Got a big sack in the backfield. Your rookie sensation, Nick Emmanwori, coming in at 6, making big-time plays. And you're getting it from all levels. I see defensive linemen, Mafe, Byron Murphy, DeMarcus Lawrence. I see linebackers, Drake Thomas. I see secondary players, Tariq Woolen, Reek Woolen. Shout out to you. Welcome back from your concussion issue that you had, concussion protocol that you were going through. Good to see him back making plays. Josh Jobe, I mean, if he had any hands at all, he would have had an interception. That's just a great performance by this defense. And this isn't a one-time thing. It's not a blip in the radar. In fact, if you go by game by game by game by game, you've had one. You've had one game where you looked like butt, and that was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Otherwise, you've been awesome. Don't believe me? Look at Week 6 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Leading the way, Leonard Williams. Nick Emmanwori closely behind him. Drake Thomas, again, shout out to him, a guy who, honestly, I didn't think was going to make the squad, has now turned himself into a player that you cannot live without. He's now the starting will linebacker. Uchenna Nwosu has been big since he's returned for this team. Ernest Jones, flying around, making plays, the leader of your defense. Hey, I mentioned him in the last one. Ty Okada, backup. He's only in because Julian Love is out right now. Yes, he makes mistakes. There's communication issues that he needs to clean up, fix. Still at the top PFF grades. Coby Bryant's at the top PFF grades every single week. Consistency has been huge for the Seahawks. Everyone on the defense plays balls to the wall. They play with their hearts on their sleeve. They go as hard as they possibly freaking can. I've been very, very, very impressed with everything that they've been able to do on this defense. And they've been so good because they play for each other. They play for their head coach. You can listen in the way that they talk about Mike Macdonald. He has created a defense in his image that is one of a military background, one that is a little less, hey, be yourself and go out and have fun like Pete Carroll, and it is you come in and do business. There is a scare factor. There is a fear factor. Shout out Joe Rogan. There is an attack mindset in this team. You brought Mike Macdonald over from Baltimore because you wanted this defense, and you're getting it right now. Grab the red pen. You've gone through 7 weeks of the 2025 NFL season. Where would you grade this Seahawks defense? A, B, C, D, or F? I'd give them a strong B+, a weak A-. So I'm saying they're sitting right at that 88, 89, maybe getting into the 90s mark. The best part about it, well, we'll get into that a little bit later on in the video on how they can get that grade to go up just a little bit more. But before we do that, I need to talk to you about the proud sponsors of today's video. And that, of course, is our good friends over at PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on any 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if your picks are right, you could cash in. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks does not hit. PrizePicks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off, which ones are overhyped. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on PrizePicks. I got a 3-pick power play for the weekend. Jamar Chase, more on his receiving yards. Bijan Robinson, more on his rush and receiving TDs. Jonathan Taylor, more on his rush and receiving TDs against the Tennessee Titans. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. The most important part of this defense is your pass rush, and I want to make sure that I highlight it. I'm a former offensive lineman. I played at the great University of Central Washington University. Shout out the Wildcats. So I know a thing or two about going up against a defensive front. At least I know the ins and outs and the things that I hate to see as an offensive lineman. And right now, frankly, this defensive line is doing a lot of things that I hate to see. They're unblockable right now. It is not that often that Seattle is having to blitz. Against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you did see the Seahawks have to blitz because the Buccaneers said, we are going to have 6, 7-man protections, allowing us to double team multiple players. Against the Jaguars, Texans, most of the other NFL teams you've gone against this year, they have not done that. They've gone 5-on-4, 5-on-5, 6-on-5, depending on who you're adding in. And your defensive line is absolutely whooping on them. The best part to me, it's not just one person. You're not reliant on a Trey Hendrickson. You're not just reliant on one player individually. You're not just reliant on a Max Crosby. You're not just reliant on a Myles Garrett. Everybody's getting after the quarterback from a multitude of positions. Your leading sack getter right now in Seattle is Uchenna Nwosu, a guy who actually missed a game early on in the season, and he's really come on strong as of late. And he's on that outside edge. He's in a linebacker, edge rusher type position. But look at the next three guys. DeMarcus Lawrence, he's an edge, but he's at a defensive end spot, hand in the dirt. He's got 3 sacks this year. He's missed some time, so those numbers could be even higher. Nose guard, Byron Murphy, 4.5 sacks. How often do you see a nose guard, nose tackle have 4.5 sacks? It just really doesn't happen. And when you're getting that pass rush up the middle, it's different. Leonard Williams, early on in this year, was all by himself doing a lot of the dirty work, while Lawrence and Nwosu were getting themselves healthy. I mean, shoot, even when you're adding in the blitz, Drake Thomas keeps finding a way to get home and get into the backfield. Defenses right now wish that they could emulate what Seattle is doing. Offenses wish that they could stop what Seattle is doing. Now, how do the Seahawks keep getting home? Well, there's about 3 different ways that they're doing it. The first one is they're just better than you. They have defensive players that get home when they get a one-on-one matchup. You can't leave DeMarcus Lawrence on an island. He's going to get home. Leonard Williams, when he is blocked one-on-one, continues to find ways to beat the offensive lineman in front of him. If he needs to beat him with speed, he does. If he needs to beat him with power, he does. Byron Murphy, when that quarterback tries to step up, boom, they step up right into the big fella. Right now, this defense is winning one-on-one. They have great hand movement. I'm very impressed with their vision and their ability to race to certain spots. Then, once you have a team that says, all right, you know what, we're going to start double teaming. We're going to start sliding our protection to where the heavy side is. What does Seattle do? They start using twists and stunts. They do a great job right now of what we call having the penetrator and the looper. What I mean by that is if you are running a typical tackle and twist, that means the tackle is going to go first. He's going to be lined up on the guard, and he's going to go to the offensive tackle. He is the penetrator. What the penetrator is doing so well right now for the Seahawks is not just taking the guard with him to the tackle, he's taking out the tackle. So now the opposing offense is wasting 2 guys on one, and then you have a free looper that's coming free. That's where you're seeing Nwosu get a lot of his sacks. That's where you're seeing DeMarcus Lawrence get free a lot. Leonard Williams, half the time, he's the penetrator. His job isn't even to get to the quarterback. It's to be unselfish, take out a bunch of guys. He's still finding a way to get home. If they're not doing that, then they're stunting. What do I mean by that? A great pirate stunt. You'll have a defensive tackle on the outside shade of the guard in the B gap. You'll have the defensive end on the outside shade of the tackle in the C gap. As soon as the ball is snapped, they both stunt to the inside. It's called a pirate stunt. I've been very impressed with that. Their ability to get in and out of gaps, just like nobody else can. Frankly, at this point, it's why you're one of the best defenses in the NFL, and I think the best. The third reason, Mike Macdonald is a genius when it comes to disguising plays and not letting opposing offenses know what is coming from them. I've got 2 pictures that we're going to show up here on the screen, and I'm going to kind of break it down as best that I can for you. In this first one, it is a 2nd and 6 against the Houston Texans on Monday night. What you can see right here is 5 guys right around the line of scrimmage. You're also noticing that Nick Emmanwori, Ernest Jones, and Drake Thomas, while they are back and not off the ball, they could add themselves into a rush if they want to. So right now in a 2nd and 6 where the Houston Texans might want to run the football because they're ahead of the sticks, they can't decide who's going to be in their count, who the offensive linemen need to go to. And they're set up in a position where the defensive lineman can still twist and they can still stunt out of this look. It's a difficult look to go against, and it's more of a base, easier look from the Seahawks. In this second picture, I understand it's a 4th and 1, so everything's a little bit more jumbled. I get it. It's a double eagle look. You've got a 3-0-3 going there for your Seattle Seahawks. But what I will say is this. At any point, anyone can be added into this blitz. There is not a single player that can't get to the line of scrimmage outside of 1 to 2 steps. At the same time, you're getting your biggest bodies on some of the smaller bodies of the Houston Texans. Can you imagine Leonard Williams right now going one-on-one against just a single tackle? On the outside, you've got Uchenna Nwosu lined up, standing up, able to come free off the edge if the Houston Texans try and get frisky. And on the inside, you're going against Byron Murphy and Jarran Reed. I want no part of that. I want no part of that. That's just the easy things that we're going through here on Seahawks Today. I haven't even really been able to get into some of the blitz packages and blitz pickups that this defense forces you to have to make as an offensive lineman. Everybody is right around the line of scrimmage. I get it. It's a 4th and 1, so it's a little bit more exaggerated. But McDonald does a great job of making offensive linemen think. He does a great job of making offensive linemen try and decipher what is happening before the ball is snapped. And if they don't, when the ball is snapped, they got no clue. The defense is only going to get better, by the way. Julian Love missed another game. Devin Witherspoon missed another game. Those are two guys that should be back and starting for you after the bye week. Your defense is only going to get stronger. And boy, oh boy, have they been pretty damn strong. If you haven't had a chance to, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I got free Seattle Seahawks video content coming out every single day. You don't want to miss it. During the bye week, we're going to do a little bit more of these video breakdowns where we talk about what's going well and what's going poorly for the Seahawks. I thought it might be fun to add in to the show. So make sure you subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you later.